What's going on, Purple People podcast fans? Welcome to this week's show. The whole crew is here. You should be very excited. Man, I'm pumped to have everybody back in the show. Adam Carlson, what's up, man? We've missed you the last couple of weeks.
I'm here. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm here.
We have no idea what's going on either. We just click start and then shit happens. Dorian Foley's with us out from California. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good today, and I feel good. I feel fucking awesome.
Is it negative 36 there with the wind chill?
Not quite.
Just checking.
And of course, we have Kyle West rounding out the four horsemen here. What's up, dude?
Dorian, you know, you're an asshole sitting over there in a short sleeve t-shirt in nice weather. The rest of us have to have like 8 layers on because it's going to be 40 below tonight.
God, dog.
You know, the coldest I've ever experienced in my military career was in Kyrgyzstan, which is next to Russia, and it was negative 30. And all I had to do was drive north. That's what's crazy to me. I was bitching last week because I'm out here training dogs in North Carolina now. For you guys that are wondering, like, Kyle, are you in a different bathroom every week? And the answer is probably yes. But, yeah, I was bitching because it was 18 degrees outside. I'm sure that feels like the heat of summer where you guys are located. So, sorry. It's cold everywhere. This is crap. Bring the sun over here.
I had someone invite me to go and watch that new Fighting with My Family movie that comes out soon in advanced screening tonight. And I said, I am not leaving the house.
I wouldn't either.
That movie looks good. I like Paige, The Rock's in it, and it seems like a good story and everything, but nope. Yeah,
if it's got The Rock in it, you can sign me up for that. I'm all aboard his Hollywood Express train, so if you go to see it eventually, let me know. I'll probably try to catch it when it's not so popular, though.
I was in that movie. Well, not in it, but I went to Raw, and The Rock was there, and pretty much he didn't make an appearance on TV, but pretty much he told everybody what they were doing, and pretty much they were shooting the last scene. So I was
nice.
Like, crowd.
Sweet. Unpaid extra.
There you go.
Get your
put that on your IMDb page.
Yeah, put it on your resume, Dorian. All right, I haven't announced the show title yet, so for you guys that are wondering, it's episode number 337 of the show, Barr, You Ready? Or Barr, You Read? Question mark.
It depends if I fix that typo or not. Maybe
you did not.
Maybe I'll just leave it.
It just says Barr, You Read.
Barr, You Read.
We're gonna get a
Barr, You Read.
Anthony Barr's management and be like, "Are you insulting Anthony Barr on your podcast?" And my response is gonna be, "You listen to our podcast." So we're going to talk about Anthony Barr and what the hell the Vikings are or not going to do with him. We'll see. There's a list of options out there, but before we get to the main topic, we have quick hits as per usual, so let's jump right into those. Oh, man, this name just messed me up real bad. If you say it real quick, it sounds like Shawn Michaels. Damn it. John Michaels, a college football Hall of Famer whose 27 seasons as a Minnesota Vikings assistant coach included all 4 of their Super Bowl appearances, has passed away. He was 87, and Michaels worked on the Vikings coaching staff from 1967 to 1993. Holy crap. He was the longest tenured assistant coach in the franchise's history. He was an offensive line coach that entire stretch. Most of it was under Bud Grant. He was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army from 1954 to 1956. Wow. I think I just found my favorite non-football player that was affiliated with the Vikings.
Over Bud, huh?
Man. That's pretty cool. Bud's probably everybody's choice, but for this guy to be there that long and having a military background, man, that's cool. Had no idea about him before the show, so we'll start with
I know. I thought that was sad too. That it's like, man, there's a name that you never hear of these people sometimes until after they're gone. I mean, I don't know. Maybe long-time older fans than us would be more familiar with it.
Like the trainer historian that passed away and was with the team since it started.
Oh,
like, holy cow. How do these people not get more recognition while they're still alive?
I wish they could.
Man, if I had a beer in this house, I would grab it and we would crack one open for John Michaels. What a legend in the Viking community.
I believe I read he also played for the Philadelphia Eagles, as well as up in Canada. I think he was on the team that Bud Grant coached or played or something. There's a connection with him and Bud Grant up in Canada as well, too.
Very cool. Man, that was a good bullet, man. Thanks for putting that in there. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I don't have it open. But
yeah, we got Scott Schwab here. He's a little upset that we're live during business hours, but we had to go and we all could be here, man. Sorry.
Hey, if you go to the East Coast where I'm at, business hours are over, sir.
And we're always sort of live if you watch us on delay, you know. You don't have to watch us live. You can check us out later on all the different places we're available. But being in the chat's a lot of fun. David Bade is here, and he says, "Skol and hello to all." Todd Hammer has a question in the chat, but it's one I can't answer because I'm working on an article on this for the Viking Age right now. He wants to know who the Vikings are going to have at backup quarterback since Trevor Siemian is becoming an unrestricted free agent.
It doesn't matter as long as Trevor Siemian's gone. I'll put Adam Thielen in there after the Pro Bowl. I'll put Adam Thielen in there before I ever want him starting a Viking game. Oh God!
But what are you thinking? Do you think they'll promote Slaughter? Do you think they'll look for another veteran quarterback to sign on the cheap? Do you think they'll look for a higher draft pick to bring in to back up? Will they look for a lower pick to compete with Slaughter? What do you guys think?
No, go ahead.
No, you go, Dorian. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, I believe we should. I believe we should promote Slaughter. I believe we should promote Slaughter to QB2, and wouldn't mind bringing in a veteran for the third spot.
See, if you're gonna promote Slaughter, I think you need to draft a mid to late round quarterback.
Yep.
To develop underneath him. I think that should be the only way that it should be any different is if they bring in a veteran and keep Slaughter as 3 to develop him. If you're going to bring in a veteran, make sure it's one that can be a backup quarterback too. That's the way I see it anyway.
Here's my thought. What I would like to happen is what Dorian said. What I think is going to happen is the usual. You're going to bring in a Mike Glennon or a Matt Castle type, somebody that's been around for a while, that's never done anything as a starter, and probably keep Slaughter around because he seems to be a fan favorite. But in a perfect world, and this is just my thinking of like business and, job wise, if you give someone who has potential, a lot of stuff on their plate, I can't think of the word to use that now. Here, I'm giving you a lot of responsibility. Like you give that to Slaughter, maybe he steps up. He's had flashes, even though it's been against third and fourth stringers, to show that he could play. I mean,
Slaughter's had some good preseason performances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give him that responsibility and then draft a young guy and see if it works out. So, like Adam said, take a late round, take a 5th, 6th on a guy for your emergency quarterback spot and let him duke it out.
I actually agree with Kyle Smith. I think the most likely thing the Vikings will do is look to bring in that veteran quarterback to be the mentor backup role. That seems to be what Rick Spielman likes to do with this team. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen.
Who's available?
Who?
The Broctopus.
There you go. That's going to happen.
Hey, I would be more on board with him than I would with Trevor Siemian. I got a great idea, though. Here it is for everybody in the chat. How about we just sign Nick Foles and have no cap money for any O-line, and we'll have the best quarterback situation in football? Great? Sounds like a great idea, right?
2 quarterback formation every play. But yeah, I mean, Matt Castle, Brett Hundley, Tom Savage, Joe Webb. There's options out there.
I'd really like to see Teddy Bridgewater come back, if I'm being honest, but the likelihood of that's probably less.
I don't think the cap's going to be there, and as much as I would love to see Teddy come back, I think he's going to get a chance to compete for.
I want to see that kid start. He deserves an opportunity to start somewhere.
Yes.
Well, Jacksonville will probably screw it up, so Jacksonville will be ready. They won't sign Nick Foles like they damn well should. So send Teddy to his home state and go to Florida. He'll instantly make the Jaguars better.
Blake Bortles could come in and be the backup.
Hey, I'd be all right with that.
If the Giants end up cutting Eli and Eli goes to Jacksonville, Teddy goes to the Giants, that's a good fit, actually.
Oh, with Pat Shurmur. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wow.
God, everybody on the show misses Teddy Bridgewater so much. Damn it.
That's my quarterback.
Teddy. All right, speaking of former Vikings players, 2 of them are playing on both of the teams going at it this Sunday. Former Viking wide receiver and kick return specialist Cordarrelle Patterson is playing for the Patriots. And former offensive lineman for the Vikings, now playing for the Rams, long in the tooth, Mr. John Sullivan Let's go Rams. I do not want to see Cordarrelle Patterson win a Super Bowl ring. I'm going to be so pissed if he wins one.
He tried his hardest not to let the Patriots get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God. Brick for hands. I couldn't believe he dropped those 2 wide open passes. Yes, I can. What am I saying?
Oh, that was bad. As a Vikings fan, I was watching it, though, and I was just saying, yep, that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Yet Tom Brady does it anyway.
It's what's crazy, too, is you would think with a guy that's as fast as him and as big as him, you just stick him on the outside. Nah, man, just go up 10 yards and cut it for a slant. Nope, too difficult. If he's not getting directly snapped or handed the ball, like, oh, God, I can't deal with that kid. He
rounds off his slants. Who rounds off slants?
Cordarrelle Patterson.
Cordarrelle Patterson does.
You watch Adam Thielen, and he cuts so strong on those slants.
Oh, yeah.
Then you watch Cordarrelle Patterson, he sort of like rounds it. It's like, what?
He's going to turn slants into wheel routes. That's a new thing coming. All right, the Vikings are reportedly interested in the services of former West Virginia quarterback Will Grier, according to NFL insider Benjamin Albright. Grier is projected to be taken in the first 4 rounds by most who cover the draft. I mean, if it was next year's draft, that would make more sense because you'd have to keep riding the Kirk Cousins train for that last season, but I don't think so. I don't think the Vikings are going to go after this kid.
I got no problem drafting a quarterback in the 4th round to develop, hold on to Slaughter, and really just let him see what he can do while Kirk Cousins does his thing. I did a 7-round mock for the Vikings recently, and I have the Vikings taking a quarterback. I believe it's round 6, sorry. So that's a little bit later than 4, but if the player is there that you want, you kind of got to go for it. And the stats are really kind of there when it comes to Grier. I mean, it's really nice to see that he's got back-to-back seasons of over 3,000 yards passing. He's got back-to-back seasons of 30 touchdowns or more. In those 2 seasons, he only threw 20 interceptions. High completion percent rated, 67% in 2018. So all the stats are there for him to get taken early. Him sitting out the Senior Bowl will probably hurt his stock a little bit because people didn't get to see him shine on that stage. But at this point, I think that quarterback needy teams might be doubling down. We might see a little bit of this strategy that the Redskins took when they took RG3 and Kirk Cousins, or that Denver took when they took Simeon and who did they take that same year? Simeon.
Oh, I don't
even remember. It wasn't Osweiler, was it?
I wanted to say Osweiler, but I don't think it's right.
Paxton Lynch?
Well,
Paxton Lynch. There you go.
The guy.
Take a look at the Redskins.
Take a garbage can. Any garbage can.
Yeah. Or the Redskins take RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft.
Yeah, and then your 4th rounder ends up playing longer. That's crazy.
Right?
Man, the NFL is weird.
I kind of agree with Adam, though. I think that, whether or not it's this quarterback or another quarterback, I can't say. It's really early for that kind of predictions for me anyway. But I do think that Minnesota is going to be they have to kind of plan for the future now because Kirk Cousins isn't going anywhere, but it was a short-term contract that he signed, and you don't know what's going to happen at the end of it. Will he want more money? I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen. So they do kind of have to have a plan in place, like right now, in case Kirk Cousins is not with this team in the future. So getting the quarterback and trying to develop them for a couple years, I think is a smart move by Minnesota.
I dig it. That makes perfect sense for this situation that we're currently in right now. So I'm not knocking it at all.
Yeah, there will be a transaction made at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Someone's either going to get signed or drafted, and the only question is who, when, and where. So that's going to be something fun to watch.
I wonder if Kyle Smith froze up. Are you still with us?
Oh,
sounds like he's gone.
Yeah.
Let me just jump in and see what is next. Oh, we're going to talk about Mike Prefer again. That's good because you guys kind of missed out when we did the Prefer topic. He is apparently juiced. That is his word, not mine, at the opportunity to be working for Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland. Apparently, when he was a free agent, he had interviews with the Browns, the Falcons, and the Lions, as well as Minnesota, who tried to call him back. He is really excited to be with Cleveland, and good for him. Although I'm not sure I would use the word juiced. They should probably drug test him after that comment.
Well, he is from Cleveland, so he's going home.
There you go.
So I don't blame him for wanting to coach near his home, near his family, all that kind of stuff. I'd be excited for that opportunity as well. And Cleveland does have some talented players on their team that they can use on special teams. And I do still think Cleveland's an up-and-coming team. So this is a good landing spot for him. Personally, I'm kind of happy to see him out of Minnesota. I think that his time here, he had some good special teams units for several years, but last few years have been hugely disappointing, and I think it's time to get some new blood in there for Minnesota.
And everything that we've talked about with the kicker, we've talked about that ad nauseum a little bit. That blame has to fall on someone, and I'm kind of surprised that Minnesota was even interested in bringing him back. I thought that would have been a nice way for them to kind of mutually part ways, because there's clearly some respect from the Vikings for Mike Prefer. And I thought it would have been a good way for them to, your contract is up, and you can go elsewhere, which I guess they kind of did.
Well, the way I was looking at it, they already had a lot of turnover on their coaching staff. I think they were trying to maintain some kind of stability. And I think that they wanted to put a little bit of money down to try to secure some sort of feeling that the team is still somewhat what the team they were. But I don't know. To me, it's not really worth it. I mean, the controversy the guy had is one thing. The lack of results over the last couple of years is another. And when you add it all up, it's just not really worth keeping him around, to be honest.
Yeah, you look at what I want to say Blair Walsh, not him. What's the other kicker? The one with
Chris
the Raiders.
Kluwe, you have his jersey, man.
No, not well. Yeah, no, not him.
Daniel Carlson?
The one with Oakland. Daniel Carlson. Yeah, you look at what happened with Daniel Carlson, and he goes to Oakland, and he has better coaching, and
he's a good kicker, and he finally got a guy that knows how to hold a football.
Right. Like, I'm surprised the Vikings didn't hold Prefer more accountable for that mess, because that was a high draft pick.
The whole time I was watching too, I'm like, watch the hold. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd come on the show and I'd say, the hold is weird. And then they finally came out and they said, yeah, he's a new holder. He's trying to get used to stuff. It's like, that's it. That's what's going on.
Even with Dan Bailey, like, the holds have messed him up a little bit.
Oh, we're talking about Prefer.
Yes, we are.
Oh, God. Sorry, guys. I had to reboot my little Mac.
Hey, it happens.
No worries.
You got any thoughts on Mike Prefer?
I'll try not to be a douche about it. Just, hey, I think it was about 2 years too late. Good luck in Cleveland. Same thing we say whenever people were bitching about Kirk Cousins or, you didn't keep Case Keenum. As long as you upgrade, which at this point, I don't see how you couldn't. Why not?
Todd in the chat wants to know if we think they will sign Dan Bailey, re-sign Dan Bailey, and I think so. I don't know. Is his contract up?
Yeah, he's a free agent now.
Was it? I think they'll bring him back. I mean, they kind of have no choice. What are the other options?
I don't think they will.
You don't think so, Adam?
Whoa. No. And I think it's because they had to bring him out of retirement in the first place.
Okay.
And then you got to look at what's it going to take to bring him back? $3.5 million? $4 million? Are the Vikings willing to put that kind of money on the table for a kicker instead of looking at the draft and grabbing the top undrafted free agent kicker?
Oh, no. $3 million for a kicker? Bye, dude. Out.
So, yeah, I don't think they're going to have the money to coerce Bailey into returning.
So what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to draft a kicker?
Nope. Undrafted free agent. They are not using a draft pick on a kicker. Spielman will not do that again.
I mean, and that sucks that we're left with that choice just to pick somebody up. You know, if we don't re-sign Dan Bailey, I think that sucks.
I suppose there's a lot of damn good kickers that go undrafted. So
Well, that and they can bring in one of the kickers from free agency that is going to be real cheap. Have them compete with the rookie. There's some real good names here. Kai Forbath's going to be a free agent. They could try him out again if there's no bad blood. I like Jason Myers from the Jets. I would like him to come in and give a tryout. Aldrich Rosas is from the Giants. Another guy. He's a restricted. He's a exclusive rights free agent, but he might not return. But yeah, there are some options out there. Nick Rose, Will Lutz will stay with the Saints. They're not letting him go.
Who's nuts? Will Nuts?
Yep, Will Lutz. Gotta love Will Lutz. Chandler Cantazero, Cairo Santos. You could bring in one of those guys and have them do their thing, but I think it's going to take $2.5 to $3 million to bring Dan Bailey back, and I don't see the Vikings throwing that out because of their cap situation. I just don't see it.
See, Adam, this is why we need you on the podcast. We're all homers, and we're like, yeah, they're going to bring back Dan Bailey, and you're the one that's like, no, it doesn't make sense for them to. And I'm like, oh, yeah, what you said totally makes sense. They're probably not.
Todd Hammer's making some good questions in the chat. He wanted to know if there's a possibility of trading for an offensive lineman because there really aren't any amazing options in free agency. And when you look at the options for the offensive line in free agency, you're right. There's not a lot of names that really stick out. And a lot of people are looking at the guard position, or some people are looking at offensive tackles, which don't make a lot of sense. But a lot of the top free agents are going to be absolutely super expensive. Mikey Lapati, Andrew Levitra, Roger Saffold. These guys are all going to command a really nice paycheck. But there are some options that are going to be kind of cheap. Jermon Bushrod, Michael Person, Zane Beatles. There are guys they can bring in to compete. But I think that we're really going to see this is finally going to be the year where Brian O'Neill has bulked up a little bit. He's got a little stronger. He's going to do a lot better at right tackle. So they're going to have some options as far as moving people inside. You could see Rashad Hill moving inside for a little bit. And I think he'd be a nice addition at either left or right guard. And then seeing the Vikings use
a healthy Nick Houston. Don't forget about him.
Well, I'm a little concerned about that because he had a neck injury, right? Is it neck or back?
I don't remember.
Either way, those are the kind of injuries that are scary.
It was neck.
Was it neck?
Neck.
Yeah, those neck injuries are scary. So I'm not fully anticipating him returning. And that's what's a little bit extra scary is I'm a big fan of Nick Houston. I was a big fan when they brought him in. I hyped him a lot when they did, and I'm glad I did because he turned out to be a real good player. But yeah, I expect.
I remember that, Adam. I remember when we acquired him, and you were really, really high on him.
Oh yeah, smart kid. But yeah, expect to see a second or third round draft pick used on a guard. I'm still not 100% sold that first rounder is going to be an offensive lineman, but we'll wait and see.
You know, Adam, I'm going to go ahead and spoil your thunder there for you guys that didn't look around on the Viking Edge and have seen it. I'm not sure if it's your article or if it's Adam Patrick's or whoever, but there's mock drafts out there as well. If they're not on the Viking Edge, they're somewhere else. But they have us taking a linebacker in the first round, or I've seen defensive tackle as well. You don't know if you're going to retain Anthony Barr or Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, that's another question that came up in the chat is which player is more important for the Vikings to re-sign? Sheldon Richardson or Anthony Barr?
Sheldon Richardson.
Shelton Richardson.
I like what I saw from Eric Wilson. I love Ben Gedeon. He hasn't lost any games for us when he's had to sit in. He hasn't gotten burned. And Sheldon Richardson is still in the prime of his career. And I love Anthony Barr. I really do hope he finds a way to stay and we find a mutual agreement. But Eric Hendricks is the better of the two. Let's be real.
I've got Anthony Barr on this one. I think Barr's athleticism, his speed, he offers a lot of things that other linebackers can't. And as much as I enjoy Eric Wilson, I think he's better in a fill-in role or maybe fighting with Gedeon for that opposite role. But Sheldon Richardson started the season so hot, and then he cooled off so much. And I don't think he's consistent enough. And while Anthony Barr has been kind of inconsistent as well, I think that he would be the better player to return. Now, Anthony Barr, bringing him back is going to be difficult because he's got Pro Bowls under his belt. He's got accolades that he can tout. He was a first-round draft pick by the franchise. He's going to want a little more compensation, and him and his agent will be able to negotiate for a little bit more. So I'm not sure how this is all going to pan out. I want to see both these guys return. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't even know if they're going to get one of those guys to return, to be honest.
So I've got his stats here just for a second, everybody, because I'm not too worried about interceptions. The only one is his career. He started he's played, 2 seasons. He played a full season, so 16 and 17. He started 12 in 2014, 14 and 15, and then 13 games this year he started. But I'm looking at his combined and his solo tackles numbers, and this is the worst year he's had. The lowest before this was 68. He went all the way down to 55 this year, and his career high was last year was 75. Solo tackles this year are 39 compared to 52 from last year. So his production was definitely down. But Adam's mentioned all that stuff. He's going to have leverage. A
little bit of that too for Sheldon Richardson might be because Linval Joseph's hungry. I'm serious. Linval Joseph is that good.
He is that good, and he's underrated as hell, and it's really sad that he's that underrated. Can I shift this topic to something else that's kind of controversial? I know we're going to talk about Anthony Barr, but
yeah, go for it.
I read something recently that said it could be time for us to let Everson Griffin go. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
Adam Patrick on the Viking Age introduced that concept to me, and it was something I had never thought of. The Vikings do have some pretty good depth on the defensive line, but I just don't see the team closing the playoff window a little bit in hopes of the future. I think that they kind of almost have to go all in on these next 2 years. And to do that, you need Everson Griffin. If he's mentally in the right place and physically available, you got to have him on the roster, right?
Not only that, but he's I think maybe it was Dorian and I that were talking about it, about how kind of what I miss from the 09 team is you had your Brett Favre, who was your motivator and your leader for the team. And Everson Griffin is a little bit, a lot like that too, where you see Everson on the sideline, and he is, when he's 100%, he's out there and he's motivating for the offense, the defense. He's a captain. He's a leader. They look up to him. That's really important for this team to have.
He's nuts, man. He it's not even close to the scale of Randall, but he reminds me of that personality type.
That locker room loves him.
He's kind of crazy, kind of loud, and everybody loves him because he's just a nutcase. I'm sorry, that's the wrong thing to say after this year.
Yeah, that was a wrong way to say that.
He's nuts, but in a good way, because he's just so.
His energy is so amazing.
Yeah, he's infectious out on the field, man. And he has the best post-game interview in Vikings history. Am I right?
No, totally. And I know that his production in the end half of the season maybe wasn't what we were expecting as Vikings fans, but that's a difficult situation. So giving him more time to adjust, go through a full off season with his family and whatever else he needs to do, go through training camp, I think he can get himself back in shape where he needs to be physically and mentally to be an impact player for the Vikings in 2019.
Well, Vikings fans have been a little bit spoiled on the defensive line at ends, I think. Going from Jared Allen, then they had Everson Griffin just step in and really pick up and not miss a beat. And now Danielle Hunter is kind of starting to overshadow Griffin even a little bit. So the talent that they've been able to establish there is just amazing. And when you combine that with these first-round picks and, these hits that the Vikings have been having in the secondary, that can make opposing quarterbacks just have fits.
Yeah, we went from like you said, Adam, Jared Allen and Brian Robinson to Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter.
Yeah,
that
don't happen ever.
But Mike Zimmer sucks, and we need to fire our head coach.
Oh yeah,
Rick Spielman's an asshole and never drafts anybody good.
Stephen Weatherly, Taquan Bauer. I mean, these guys are good. They're good players.
To add on to Everson Griffin, I believe he's become a subject is for the fact, I guess, if we let him go, that saves us about $9 million as far as on our salary cap.
Sure.
I think that's why his name, but I think it's just still I really feel like, from some of the fan base, it comes across as them being like ungrateful. Like Everson Griffin, just because he had a down year, it's like you just completely ignore what he's done overall, you know what I'm saying, since being with us. So I think that's kind of like not fair because I'm like literally will see comments of people like, oh yeah, we need to cut him, and just basically kind of like saying like, fuck him, like he didn't do shit.
The way you got to look at it is, okay, if you cut Everson Griffin and you save $9 million against salary cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can you sign a player with that $9 million that's going to be better than Everson Griffin?
Yeah.
You think you can?
No, I was agreeing with the statement that you were making.
Oh.
Like, no,
Yeah.
no, I don't think you can with that money.
I mean, sure, you can go sign a couple mid-grade offensive linemen and see if they pan out, but if you want a talent, an established talent that you know fits with your team, and you have $9 million, it should be a no-brainer to keep him. It should be. I understand the appeal. You want to fill other needs on the squad. The Vikings have good depth. Stephen Weatherly played well when he filled in. Yeah, there is some compelling arguments to be made, but I just don't see the value in cutting him.
I agree.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I saw it on the Viking Age, and we're going to see at least one, if not two, Vikings that we appreciate and like to some degree gone.
Yeah.
Just a matter of who. The cap's not working in our favor, even though it is getting, they're adding a little bit more every year. And then we've got to worry about the draft as well.
Last year, saying goodbye to Brian Robinson and Terrence Newman, that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That veteran leadership seemed to be a lot gone, and that hurts. So I'm wondering which surprises it's going to be this year. I don't think it's going to be Griffin, but I've been a lot of the people are rumbling. I haven't heard it from any other sources other than just fans, but there are some rumblings that Kyle Rudolph might be one of the guys on the block.
Yep.
We'll see what they do with draft.
If
they go tight end early, we'll see. That'll be telling a little bit.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And he could be Walter Payton Man of the Year when they name it on Saturday, You never know.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome and awful at the same time. Yeah, congratulations, you won this award, but get the fuck out.
You'd be amazing at that job, Dorian.
If he wins, I don't think he's going anywhere, but because we're not going to do what the Patriots do and be like, that's incredible what you've done for the community. I'm going to need you to pack your shit, though. My close business today. I don't think that's going to happen if he wins.
That's terrible.
Oh, man.
Well, what else do we have to talk about besides that? Do we have anything else?
We got a question in the chat, too, about Aldrick Robinson and whether or not he's going to be a fit for the team next year. Aldrick Robinson has already said that he would love to return to the Vikings. He loves the locker room. He loves his spot at the team. He thinks he can do a little bit more, and I think that he can, too.
Yep.
Oh, right. Hey, Adam, I have a question for you. You can chime in. We talked about this last week. Speaking of Aldrick Robinson in the wide receiver third spot, how do you feel about us going after Deshaun Jackson to fill in that wide receiver 3 spot? What's your take on that?
I've got to admit, I like the young Vikings wide receivers enough, and with the established duo they have, if they can bring back Robinson on a small deal and have those youngsters behind them, I'm good with that, and maybe use a later draft pick on a wide receiver. I'm not down for spending money on a wide receiver in free agency. I'll pass.
Okay, I can respect that. I just think he'll still be sexy as hell, like Kirk Cousins, Jackson, and
dude, if we had Deshaun,
like when they brought in Mike Wallace for Christian Ponder.
Oh my god,
that deep threat. Do it.
That worked.
You know what sucks too, Dorian? Because Diggs and Thielen take all the balls. It'd be like that year we had Mike Wallace on the team and he did fucking nothing at all. Like nothing. I'd hate that too. I'd be so happy.
And they cut Greg Jennings, who was like a good receiver, great route runner, an excellent teammate, great in the community. It's like, what?
Get the fuck out, bro. Fuck your community service.
Oh God.
That's my favorite quote.
Oh shit!
So can we all just go ahead and agree, and everybody in the chat, Patriots are winning Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah, probably.
No. No.
Fun stat for the Super Bowl, and they've been saying it all week. I have not listened to my sports radio like I wanted to because I'm working my ass off right now. But you're either going to have the oldest coach to win a Super Bowl or the youngest. One of those two is definitely going to happen because there's not going to be a tie. So that's pretty interesting. I think Jared Goff's going to look like a soup sandwich on Sunday. And watch me eat my words, and he'll be better than Nick Foles and Tom Brady was last year just because I have the worst luck at predicting stuff. But it's Bill Belichick against a young coach and a young quarterback. How do you not pick them in this?
I'll take the experience every time.
I'm sick of seeing them there. I'm finally to the point where I'm like, Jesus, man, again, we're going to respect this legacy that's been going on up in New England for the last almost 20 years when it's all done. Because I don't think anybody's going to come close to repeating it, but
whatever.
I don't know. I don't know how you
that. And I don't want the NFL, teams around the NFL, copying the Rams formula for getting to the Super Bowl. I don't want it to happen.
I do. I want to see the Jets and just shitty teams just completely fuck up their salary cap. That would be amazing to watch, wouldn't it?
They might have like one season where they almost made the Super Bowl, and then they'd be like crap for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
You mean the Vikings?
Well, the Vikings haven't jeopardized themselves that way. I mean,
no, I'm just being an ass right now. No, it just seems like that happens. Like it's like every other year we have a fighting chance, and then the next year is just kind of middle of the pack. It's super annoying, but like I was mentioning last week on the show, like for all those people calling for Mike Zimmer's head, at least we don't have the Christian Ponder thing to worry about where we know we're probably going to go 3-13 one year. That's a good sign. Those are hard to watch, man.
Did any of us watch the Pro Bowl?
No.
I watched the skills competition.
I didn't even watch that.
The Pro Bowl needs to get cancer and go away. Like, I'm fucking sick of the Pro Bowl game. It's so dumb, and they need to figure out something because the NFL has changed its rules in the regular season and the postseason to be better for a quarterback. We can all agree, right? It's all about offense, scoring points. Reference the fucking Rams and Chiefs game from earlier in the year, right? Nobody's watching this game because they're not playing real football. Just find something that's going to get you clicks and views and make you more money. I'm all about selling your soul for something cool like the skills competition. That was legitimately cool. Or the dodgeball games. That's awesome. Please.
Players from the best two teams can't even play.
Here's the best part.
Yeah.
I would watch the Pro Bowl if everyone on every team was not allowed to play the position that got them there. I want to see Adam Thielen playing right tackle, and I want to see some out there. Then I would watch it. Okay?
Mass injuries during the Pro Bowl.
No, because they're not going to play. They don't play. They play at 25% in that game.
Scott Schwab wants to talk about having a scat back or a quarterback or a running back to back up Dalvin Cook, because remember the Vikings kind of forced Latavius Murray to take a pay cut this year, and next year odds are that they're either going to need to throw some money down for him if they want to keep him or look for someone else, because when you tell a player that you are not worth what they're paying you kind of get a little bit of a you don't like that too much.
I'm looking up the 2019 free agent running backs here at 24/7 Sports. So let's look at this.
Don't you advertise 24/7 Sports?
I won't. It's just like 12 up. Don't ever click on those.
I use SpotRack, which is a great resource for financial information, free agents, and everything. So use that.
Oh, here's some good ones here. There's some good free agents out there. Well, some of the older names everybody knows. Top of the list is Latavius Murray, and it's talking about 2018 AAV, and it's got the dollar signs up there, so that must mean on the
approximate value, yeah.
Latavius Murray, Marshawn Lynch, Mark Ingram, Bilal Powell, Corey Grant, LeGarrette Blount, Spencer Ware, Jaquiz Rogers, TJ Elton, Doug Martin, Darren Sproles, Mike Davis, Fozzie Whitaker, fucking Frank Gore is still going to be playing 10 years from now. Adrian Peterson, Amir Abdullah, Alfred Blue, Tevin Coleman, Alfred Morris. Yeah, all these are second string guys. But yeah, there's a lot of names that are well known around the league.
Adrian Peterson comes back to Minnesota.
Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather sign Blair Walsh at kicker again than have Adrian Peterson back on.
He is coming to Minnesota to sign autographs, and I am not paying the money that he wants for it himself for his name.
When he signs, is he going to be left on the paper when he signs it in Minnesota? Is it going to be at the bottom left of the paper? Come on.
I thought you were going to make a joke about fumbling the pen, so at least you didn't go that far.
It's true.
How much is the signing, Adam? I'm curious.
I don't want to throw an exact amount out because I don't remember the exact amount. I just remembered that it was too much for me.
Sure. I've seen 2 different signatures from Adrian. It all depends what you get. He gives like the really crappy like AP that doesn't look like shit, or he'll do like a really nice one.
Yeah, the AP
really nice
is the one he does for the cheapies.
Yeah, and that one I wouldn't pay for that shit. Like that.
When you pay, he gives you the nice ones.
Oh, I thought you said that Blair Walsh was coming to town to sign autographs. So Adrian Peterson is coming to sign autographs. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, that's going to be way too expensive. No.
Let's see. For him to sign a jersey, it's $199.
That is horse shit. I can buy 2 jerseys for that.
For him to write a 3-word inscription is $75. To have a picture taken with Adrian Peterson, $169.
What?
It's not like he's hurting for money.
So at least he's cheaper than Sting. Oh
no, that's not.
I'm kidding.
Sting is actually cheaper.
How much was Sting?
You're gonna piss Dorian off with that one.
Unlike your douche friend Chris Jericho.
Hey, he signed my stuff for free. And I stood in BS with him for a couple minutes.
He's still a douche. Fuck him.
He's a legend. Come on, Jericho's legend.
He is a legend. He's a legend and an icon, but still, fuck him.
You know what, Dorian? You just made the list.
Fuck the list too. Fuck No. Okay. All joking aside,
this is a weird podcast.
I have a minor announcement. I have a small announcement. I did forgive Chris Jericho. I'm no longer on my high horse with them. That was just all for fun.
Oh yeah.
I literally said, fuck it. Just whatever. It's over. It happened. Whatever.
Who Kid Cazares says, do we need a second tight end or a third wideout more? Right now, third wideout should be kind of the priority. They need to get Aldrick Robinson back. They can't really trust Laquan Treadwell to hold that down.
Okay.
And I think a second tight end, I think we've already got one. Yeah. I am a big David Morgan fan.
David Morgan, thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Get him on the field. Let him block and catch passes. He can do both very well.
Thank you, Adam.
He comes as advertised.
Jabronis were like, no, David Morgan, I don't know. Yes, I'm calling you a jabroni and you a jabroni. Both Kyles.
I never said that.
You jabronis.
I've never said one bad thing about David Morgan, sir.
I'm not saying you said anything bad, but you didn't agree. Like, you were kind of like...
I don't recall this. That's erroneous statement. Erroneous on all counts.
Okay.
And plus, the Vikings just used a higher draft pick on Tyler Conklin, and I'm waiting for him to kind of pay dividends, but not quite yet.
I'm all aboard the David Morgan train.
Oh yeah, choo.
Like I said, he's as advertised. You know what? I'm not. You know whose train I'm not getting a ticket for? Laquan Treadwell.
Yes.
It probably won't start, and it'll probably get stuck as soon as it goes. So it's, I'm not getting on that train. We can wash our hands of that failed experiment and move on. I hope Aldrick Robinson comes back. If not, I don't know. We can figure something out there. You gotta have a number 3 because they're gonna try to double team one of, if at least not both, Diggs and Thielen next time. So you gotta have somebody reliable, but. That's another we can look up. Let's see what wide receivers are going to be free agents.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. It's a Laquan Treadwell, and I'm being serious. No joke.
Yeah, you dropped it.
No joking. I'm done shitting on him. Whatever. Okay, so do we have no choice but to keep him on the roster?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, can you just hold a clipboard or something?
Unless you believe that Oakland really is interested in trading.
Because if they cut him, they got to pay him anyway.
Okay.
So unless they are just blown away by another option, I don't see him going anywhere.
Okay, can you just hold a clipboard for the wide receivers? I don't know if wide receivers hold clipboard.
I mean, he could be inactive.
Yeah, he could get beaten down the depth chart, and by now the Vikings have probably seen enough of him to know that okay, we're not going to try to force him in on extra plays. But he's had such good preseasons though that makes you think that okay, he's going to step in. You know, he's worked hard. He's worked on his routes. He's worked on his hands, and you read all these reports of how much effort he's putting in, and then you see him come into the game, and it's not really what you expected.
Okay, so I've got the list of free agents this year coming up, and we got Aldrick Robinson down at the bottom, where based on the salary, it's $790,000, and I went all the way up to around $2.5 million. I don't think they're going to go that high. It's based on his salary, but we'll go down. So there's Philip Dorsett, Martavis Bryant, Brandon LaFell, Devin Funchess, Darius Hayward-Bay. I'm not going to say Des Bryant because he's not coming to this team. Rashard Matthews, Justin Hunter, and Jordan Matthews. So
I'm glad you skipped Anthony Thomas because he's probably not going to play in the NFL next year.
You start getting higher up for these guys. The highest guy that's going to be on the list, he'll find a team. Randall Cobb, Tavon Austin, Golden Tate, John Brown with Baltimore, Jermaine Kearse is at 4.5. Patterson's at $4.25 million.
Why?
Special teams value.
Kevin White from the Bears is at $4 million. That's an even bigger why. He's barely played.
Here's my question for you guys. Okay, the Vikings bring in a wide receiver 3. Would you want a faster, speedy, elusive guy, or do you want a big-bodied guy for contested catches?
Contested catches.
Speed kills. Especially wide receiver 3 in that slot.
This is where the argument comes in because the Vikings love to rotate players through that slot. Adam Thielen's been playing the slot a lot. It's found a lot of success that way. And they've been rotating the smaller guys on the outside. And it makes me wonder if the Vikings need to put a little bit more effort into finding that big-bodied pass catcher on the outside and just let Thielen run in the slot a little bit more. And then sign Aldrick Robinson to kind of switch things up for a size thing when they move Thielen back outside. I don't know. This is something that I've seen argued by a lot of Vikings fans is what the Vikings need when they do go out and get another wide receiver. If they need to look for size or if they need to look for speed or what kind of player they should look for. And honestly, I don't know.
If we're going off of wide receiver 3, I'm going to put in the one we had for the last 3 years who's dropped 33 fucking passes. I want somebody who can catch the ball. That's it. I don't give a shit how fast you can run. Because most of the guys who are the fastest guys in the NFL, like John Brown, he's in Baltimore now. He didn't get drafted by Baltimore. He's barely been in the league 3 years. However long he's been in.
John Ross?
John Ross, that's who it is. Fucking these guys that run super fast, it's great and all. You got to have a quarterback that can get it there, and you got to have a quarterback who's not going to throw picks in it. Give me a guy who, if you throw in the window like a Kyle Rudolph, he'll catch it.
Todd Hammer says, let's sign Troy Williamson.
Oh, God.
Let's do it. Paul Gruber says, use BB and spend the rest of the money on the line. I'm with you on using BB some more. The line, I'd wait a little bit and see what kind of shakes out there, see what kind of value they can get. Who Kid says Golden Tate would have worked last year. Yeah, but trading for that contract would have kind of sucked.
Yeah, we would have been in the hole for money. We've been cutting people.
Is he not a free agent this year? He is.
But he like what I was saying in the thing here. I still have it here. I didn't go at the very top, Dorian. I started around the $2 million mark because he's up there.
His approximate value is $6.2 million.
Yeah, he's number 4 on the list under Tavon Austin, Dante Moncrief, and Randall Cobb. So he's going to be the 4th most expensive. So I went towards the middle of the pack, right around where Aldrick was.
Do you guys want your mind blown a little bit? Holy shit, let me drop my phone. How long ago does it feel like Troy Williamson was on this team? Forever. He's only 35 years old.
Damn.
Yeah. It feels like Troy Williamson was eons ago that we went through that. He's only 35.
Yes, I remember.
That's crazy to me.
Man, it seems like forever ago since Favre played on the team as well. And the Adrian Peterson MVP year, that seems like forever ago.
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The memories of Ponder's Hail Mary are still in my head very clearly.
Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare.
The one that fell 3 yards short of the end zone, Adam?
No, the one that landed 15 yards short of the end zone.
I guess I was being a little generous with the 3.
Oh my goodness.
That guy's winning at life. Shout out to Christian Ponder. You've made beautiful babies with a hot lady, and you don't have to do shit for the rest of your life.
Stay at home. He's a stay-at-home dad. Come on.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
He does arts and crafts.
probably. I don't know.
And they get intercepted too. Ah!
Dick.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's about it, guys. What do you think?
So are we going to talk about Johnny Stanton? We already did, right?
I wondered if you were going to bring that up.
Did we? Did we already talk about
No,
that?
we didn't. Go for it, Adam. The floor is yours.
All right, so our last quick hit, even though we've already gone through a lot of other stupid stuff, is that the Vikings waived fullback Johnny Stanton from injured reserve on Friday. At 24 years old, Stanton signed with the Vikings as an undrafted free agent out of UNLV last May.
Raise your hand if you didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was one of their priority free agents, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So much priority, we cut his ass.
Well, you know.
I think that this cut
his
was
name, bro.
basically for them to release him so they could pay his his medical release.
That
Then we might see him sign back. Yeah, the Vikings do that for a lot of their players, and a lot of teams. Some teams don't, but the Vikings seem to take care of their guys pretty well. So when I see players getting cut from injured reserve, I know it's so that Minnesota can pay their fees.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's cool.
So who wants to head up the main topic here?
Oh, there's a main topic? Oh, yeah, Anthony Barr. Oh, shoot.
Oh, we already did that.
Did we?
A little bit. We kind of already talked.
We touched
Yeah.
on it a little bit. We haven't given the quotes or anything, but
If you guys want, it's up to you guys if you want to read the
I've
quotes.
got it up. I'll read this to you. Vikings Anthony Barr will let free agency dictate itself. He's quoted as saying, "I'm not sure there really is a plan." This was during Pro Bowl practice. I think it kind of dictates itself. I've done what I've done, and what's going to happen is kind of out of my control. Obviously, I'll have a choice, hopefully as to where I want to go, but I can't control much more than what I'm doing now. Barr might hit free agency after making $12.3 million in the final year of his rookie contract this year. If he does, he would likely have the chance to be paid more like a pass rusher than a traditional linebacker. He's expected to draw a handful of teams willing to tap into an underused part of his game. Let's Google this while I'm waiting. NFL teams with most.
Well, you Google really quick. I was reading an interesting opinion piece about Anthony Barr that said that he might have more success in a 3-4 defense as opposed to Minnesota in the 4-3, and so he could get paid. He could get paid more as a pass rusher and have more success in a 3-4. For people who were saying Green Bay, hey, what kind of defense does Green Bay run? I'm just saying there's a decent possibility he could be playing against us.
Remember we were talking about the draft and Barr came up, and I said that I didn't think he was a fit because I saw him as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense.
Yeah, you did, Adam. I 100% remember that.
Yeah, and I still believe that he could thrive in a situation like that. To have him playing that role would be a good fit for him. I just kind of hope that he likes what Minnesota has set in. His price tag isn't going to be too crazy, and they can work out some kind of compromise. But right now, I'm just not sure that can happen.
I think he's going to get paid elsewhere. Like even if Minnesota wants to retain him, I think some other team is going to outbid us for his services.
I've got it for you right here. There's weird stats in here, and this would be freaking crazy for this team. I'm looking at the top 13 teams right now, basing this on how many playoff teams went, but I can go out on the 14 if I need to. 3 out of 14 teams, the top 14 with the most money left, were playoff teams. That's it. Only 3 of them. The Texans rang in at 6, the Seahawks at 7, and then the Cowboys. I'm sorry, it would be 4. The Cowboys at 10 and the Chiefs at 14. So out of 14, only 4 of them made the playoffs. I believe those are right. This would be a scary combo, and I was going to make the suggestion earlier, but they have the most money. Indianapolis's line this year was incredible at keeping Andrew Luck upright, and I was thinking if he was restricted, try to wheel and deal him for one of those linemen that probably wouldn't bite on it. Indianapolis sits in the number 1 spot for cap space, $111 million, $111.5 million. Him with Darius Leonard would be nasty.
Damn.
There are some good fits. Even in Houston, I think he could do very well. Dave Hickey made a comment that's going to ruffle some feathers of some of you guys in here. He said, Barr is a me guy, a Randy Moss character. I play when I want, or in Barr's case, I play when you pay.
Oh, shut up. No, I'm just playing. Just playing.
I know Randy's a touchy subject for you guys, but I don't know if I've seen this kind of attitude from Barr, and I'm not sure. I'd like some examples of this, actually.
I don't think that was it. You know who I think fit the mold most recently in the Vikings, and he no longer is with the team, was Captain Munnerlyn. I think that was more who that person's describing. Anthony Barr's just been up and down. I mean, he was great to start, had a down year, great again. He kind of was cold to start the season, but he ended great. He ended pretty good.
Yeah.
He was kind of the opposite of Sheldon Richardson, like we were talking about earlier. Sheldon started out hot and cooled off. Anthony Barr looked like a soup sandwich to start the year off, and then he came back to form, especially in the final 6 games. He was great. So I don't know. I don't really see it, but it's an interesting take. You won't ruffle my feathers, though. I'm not a big Randy Moss lover as much as
these other two there.
Dorian, but I got it. Kyle's having some technical issues.
Randy Moss is a legend. I don't know why. What the issue is with Randy Moss. He did great things as a Viking.
On occasion, yeah.
No, well, okay, on occasion, he's a Hall of Famer. First yeah.
I'll put an asterisk there.
Whatever. I'm not getting into it.
He's poking the bear right now.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, I got to be Skip. Someone's got to be the Skip.
Skill.
Adam, I would never insult you like that. Ever.
No.
Ever. You're my friend. I don't want to throw a cinder block at your face like every time that Skip Bayless opens his mouth.
You know what nauseates me about Skip Bayless? Like, I mean, I didn't know that he can do anything to further that nauseum, but he just makes me sick every time. How we're just talking about Anthony Barr, just taking for example. Every time he speaks, it looks like he's looking for acceptance. Like, oh yeah, well, Anthony Barr, he looks like he's gonna try to get a lot of money, right? Huh? Like, come on, like, accept me, say yes, like, please, let me, accept me into your conversation. It's just like, dude, if you're gonna talk some shit, just
say
what you gotta say. Don't kiss my ass while you're talking. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that with Skip Bayless.
Yeah, prodding me along with that's not going to get me to agree with you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I've already proven enough times in these podcasts that you can twist stats to make things look almost any way you want.
Very true.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was defending Christian Ponder using certain stats and metrics, and they made him sound like one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, remember when they compared Christian Ponder has had the best start of any quarterback since Brett Favre in his first 4 games. Remember that? Remember that?
Yep.
I'm 100% serious. That was an actual thing. Like, people made graphics on social media.
Oh, God.
You're right. Yes, it was. Yes,
I think that stat just gave me a tumor. Oh, it's so bad. It's such a read.
It's not a tumor.
Not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
But yeah, the question is Anthony Barr, what kind of money do you think he's going to draw in? He's got the Pro Bowl appearances. He's got the first round pedigree. He's a name recognized by most fans because of the Aaron Rodgers thing. So how much money do you think he makes?
What's the salary this year? 12 point something.
Yeah.
What about 15? Something like that. I think somebody out there paid 15.
I'm not sure about that. I think you could get 11 from someone.
How about he just takes a hometown discount and he believes that this organization is on the cusp of a Super Bowl and just plays with his heart and not for the dollar sign?
What if Barr would sign for $9 million and the Vikings they cut Everson Griffin to pay for him?
Oh, Adam. Oh. You're
you talk about a potential public enemy number one. Oh my God.
Hey, I can combine two things we talked about already. See?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Anthony Barr being public enemy number one. If we were that was our strategy. Let's cut Griff and then re-sign him, give him his salary, and then we still don't have anything to show for it. God damn.
But I don't know how Vikings fans would take it, but I kind of want to see it happen.
Oh God! If that happened, I'd have to stay off Facebook for a long time. All these armchair GMs would come out of the woodworks.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh!
Hometown discount is bullshit. If your job came,
Adam Thielen took one.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, he did.
What was he going to get on the open market?
He was going to get that.
At the time, he wasn't going to get a big, like now he could get a big contract, but at the time he wasn't going to get a big contract. Like if your work came up to you and was like, you've done great for the past 8 years. We love you. Take less money to do the same job moving forward.
This sounds like the government.
But you know who does that?
Well,
Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Yeah, he does.
No. See, I
commend, huh?
I put an asterisk there because number one, his model wife makes more than he does. He don't need fucking money. Number two, he knows every year he's going to the AFC Championship game. I'd play for fucking free if I knew I was going to go to the Super Bowl every other year. Shit.
Tom Brady's a reptilian shape-shifting lizard or something. He don't need no money.
He made a deal with the devil.
Why does Tom Brady still get excited that he's going to the Super Bowl? By now it should just be like, yep.
Yeah.
I think the best thing I heard all week was one of his players back in the day was like, man, I'm pissed I didn't go to the Pro Bowl. He's like, you're mad about we don't play to go to the fucking Pro Bowl?
Hey, here's a legit question. Has Tom Brady ever actually played in a Pro Bowl?
Let me check it.
I was just thinking that the other day because he's been in so many Super Bowls. Like I'm sure he's probably been voted, but I don't know if he's ever actually played in one.
I don't know if he's played either, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that like the years that Ben Roethlisberger and Joe Flacco went to the Super Bowl that he could have, but I don't know if he did.
Tom Brady hasn't played in a Pro Bowl since 2005.
I remember that he sent in saying that he was injured, and he was fine, but he just didn't want to play. To me, it's like the mom writing the note for the kid to stay home from school. It's like, no, I'm hurt. I can't make it to the Pro Bowl.
How have we made 337 episodes of this show?
This is fun. That's why.
I have a serious question. Okay. I want to get your guys' take on it since we're just like fucking around. What does the NFL need to do to make the Pro Bowl actually interesting, where it's no longer the laughing stock? And I'm being serious. Like, what do they need to do?
Get rid of it.
Why?
So there's nothing. Okay, that's Kyle.
You can't force players to play because they don't want to get injured, and half of them were just in the playoffs a week ago, and it's like, let's go play a game because I got eliminated from the playoffs. Like, no, they don't want to play in that shit. They want to go home. Their bodies are tired, and they don't want to be there.
Players on the winning team for the next full season cannot get randomly drug tested for pot.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. There you go. There's your incentive. Go win. Fucking Josh Gordon would dominate the Pro Bowl.
Do you remember when Major League Baseball had it where their All-Star game, the winner of the All-Star game, the conference, got to host the championship game?
I don't remember this because I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
No. Adam, he's right. He's right. That was that was always the prize. Like whichever division won, then yeah, they hosted the World Series.
This is what I think, and I stole this from a meme. But they should, instead of the Pro Bowl, they should take the top 2 draft picking teams with the worst record.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should play and fight it out. What was that? It was like if whoever wins gets a certain thing for the draft or whatever.
Gets the #1 pick or something.
Dude, that would it'd be such sloppy, awful football, but it would be so much better than this stuff because they would actually play. I don't know.
I love it.
I think people just want to see Carr and and what's his name fight Stephen A.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd pay to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I just think the whoever makes the Pro Bowl, I'm with you, Mr. Smith, in the sense of just kind of like maybe just get rid of it. But I just think like just bonuses. So I don't know what amount, but just, hey, you made it. Congratulations. Here's some extra money, like maybe like tax free.
All right, I do have a question though. Do you consider like me? I consider the Pro Bowl to be like the fans' choice. Like a superstars of the NFL game, and then you've got the All Pros, which I consider to be the best in the league in their conferences. Is that the way you guys see it too, or do you see the Pro Bowl as measuring accolades in any sense?
It depends on if it's going off of who actually had the better season or name recognition too. That's the thing that always pisses me off. People will get in because of name recognition when there are guys like who was it this year? Was it Darius Leonard? Did he not get to go? And he was one of the best rookies, if not the rookie of the year. People just vote because they want to pick a guy that they know to go in. I get really tired of that too.
Because let's be honest,
Jeff
Barr
Saturday,
didn't deserve to go this year.
What's that?
What was
Barr
that, Adam?
Barr did not deserve to go this year.
Yeah,
No.
and that too. And then if somebody chooses not to go that got selected first, then like people like Mitch Trubisky get in there. Trubisky had no business being in the fucking Pro Bowl. No way.
No.
Yeah, the alternates can go a little deep when others don't want to play or can't, I guess. But yeah, we could sit here and we probably should have broken down the Vikings player stats from the Pro Bowl, but I didn't watch it, and I would need you guys to even say anything that happened because I didn't pay attention.
Spoiler alert, Adam Thielen is really good at catching a football, and it really pissed me off watching him catch these dime laser passes from Russell Wilson because they're not going to get that guy. But, yeah, he was the best wide receiver on the NFC side, hands down.
Yeah,
who went analysis?
I know what drill you're talking about. That who was the receiver that went right before Adam Thielen?
Mike Evans, and he did terrible.
Because
Mitch was throwing to him.
Well, yes, that too. But Thielen made him look like shit. He dominated on that drill.
Yeah, it was great. Further proved my point to shit on Mitch Trubisky some more. Yeah, you got a guy named like Mike Evans catching the ball. He's huge. Just get it in the area. Struggled. Russell Wilson comes out. Dime. It was pretty cool. That's the stuff that interests me. That, and we mentioned earlier about the dodgeball game. Super cool. Super fun.
Yeah, I'm glad to see a little bit of resurgence in the skills competitions and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just still can't get myself to watch the Pro Bowl. I can't. And with the Royal Rumble on later that night, it was just like, nope. No.
The Royal Rumble, yeah.
Where former Minnesota Viking Brock Lesnar.
I knew you were going to fit this in.
That match was a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I liked it.
I was trying to tell my buddy that I was playing video games with at the time. He said, "How's the Rumble?" I said, weirdly, the match between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan was not that great.
Right?
Well, Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor was good. He's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the way it went down.
Yeah. Well, poopy.
Yeah, but no Babatunde in the Royal Rumble. That's what I wanted. Didn't see it.
They're not doing anything with him. I got a feeling that he might get the boot. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. They had Leo Rush with him, and it looked like they were going to push him with Leo Rush. And then they said, "Oh well, Bobby Lashley, you need Leo Rush."
I like Leo Rush. The man of the hour, my man, Bobby Lashley.
He is this generation's Jimmy Hart, or could be, because man, he does that annoying manager loudmouth stuff so good.
Yes.
You want to hate him, you want to strangle him, but he's just entertaining.
Yes, I can totally see that.
All right, so Super Bowl, let's end. We already did most of us, I think, did our guesses as to who's going to win. I've got New England. I think Mr. Smith has New England. What else do we got here?
I'm picking New England.
I got the Rams.
Oh, you're standing alone. I like it.
Yep, I got the Rams.
I can respect it.
I don't.
Smith, who do you got? New England?
I got to go with New England. I don't know how the shit they got there. I have no idea because they looked awful during the regular season at times. But I don't know. I got it. They've just been on a roll. Tom Brady hasn't been hit the entire playoffs so far. How is that possible?
At the beginning of the year, I had Patriots Saints, so I'm a little sad that my prediction didn't happen. But
hey, you never know. Saints fans are going to keep whining enough.
That petition might make it through. You never know.
Right. We have how many days left? Like that replay game could come on out at any minute now.
Yeah, they'll replay on Thursday, and then whoever wins will be ready for Sunday. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
It'll work out good. So halftime, we got Maroon 5, or we've got halftime heat. What are you guys going to be doing?
I'm watching halftime heat.
The halftime heat, baby.
I'm the only douchebag that's going to watch Maroon 5 this weekend.
Well, I've heard a rumor that SpongeBob is going to be at halftime.
The fuck?
I've heard that rumor. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Like I said, halftime heat. I'm watching wrestling at halftime.
NXT or SpongeBob?
I don't know. I was watching Hot Ones with Weird Al the other day, and they asked him that if they ever asked him to do a halftime for the Super Bowl, if he would. He said, "Heck yes," but I'd be so scared. So if that ever happens, if Weird Al ever does halftime Super Bowl, I'm watching that no matter what.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look,
it should be him and Gallagher. Bring Gallagher back, and you can smash like watermelons and stuff.
Look, I was just in a Metallica. Why someone like the Foo Fighters that have been around for 20-some years, or Metallica for almost 40 years, why they haven't been selected yet, I don't know. When you're giving somebody like Maroon 5, and I like Maroon 5 a lot, but it just seems like a lot more obvious, better choices. People like Prince, didn't Tom Petty play in the Super Bowl? And now you have Maroon 5, like.
And really, Super Bowl, you couldn't get all of Outkast.
No.
What'd you say, Dorian?
They're legit. Don't make that face, the poo-poo face.
I love Maroon 5, but if you want to argue that they're on the level of Prince and Tom Petty, I don't know how.
No, I'm not saying that.
Adam Levine is. He's a celebrity, man.
How he's a superstar, but he's not Prince or Tom Petty.
I did security for him. He's real nice. I did security for Maroon 5. Like they're really. Yeah.
I think they could reach in and do that. And a lot of people, like, the younger crowd that likes top 40 and pop and hip hop and all that stuff. Like I listen to that too, but you have Metallica out there. You have the Foo Fighters. Like I want to see rock and roll.
Super Bowl halftime is for your mom that's watching. Like seriously, it's for your mom that's watching at home.
Janet Jackson's titty says no to you on that. So.
Yay. I love titties.
See, I'd like to make that argument too. But then I saw The Who do their halftime performance, and I like The Who. I think they're one of the most underrated rock bands, even though they've got a name. People don't give them enough respect. And then I saw their halftime show, and I was like, that was disappointing.
I can tell you from seeing a million Metallica shows, they are amazing live, and they're getting old.
Metallica will never do it because you have to pre-record your performance and then lip sync to it. And Metallica's not going to do that. Foo Fighters aren't going to do that.
No, you're 100% right. They're not going to do that.
I think Prince was the last year it was live, right?
Yes, it was. Prince played live. Because you fucking don't ask Prince to pre-record anything. Exactly. You just don't do that.
Man, to lip sync and not play an instrument. The fuck out of here. Ah, good times, good music.
Yes, I fucking love Metallica.
But I don't believe we have a social media question of the week.
Surprised.
No.
And I do want to remind our winner of the Survival League that we have not forgotten about you. We're just trying to get everything in one spot so we can mail it all out together. So it will come eventually, and I'll mail it out. I'll send you an email or message when we get it all together.
No, spoiler, I have your shit with me right now, and I'm not giving it back.
Oh.
Jokes.
You guys got anything else you want to add in?
Nope.
I think that'll do it. We've went long this episode.
Adam, I just want to say I'm glad that you're back, brother. It's good to see your face, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've been away a while. I've been dealing with some personal issues and some other things, but I'm back to talk about football, and hopefully I'll be able to make it back for a lot more soon.
We need you on. You're the only one that has your head in the knowledgeable zone when it comes to shit like kickers. The rest of us are.
You guys are thinking with your heart. You got to go to your head every once in a while.
I know it. The rest of us are like, yeah, Dan Bailey. You're like, that don't make no sense. That's why we need you, Adam.
100%.
On that note, thank you to everyone who interacts with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if we still do that. That take care of our stuff on iTunes and PodOMatic and Stitcher and Google Podcasts or wherever you listen to us, because we do this for the love of the game, for the love of the team. We love interacting with you guys, and we're glad for each of you when you like, share, subscribe, because it means that we can reach out to more fans and hopefully just interact with more fans, because that's all we are. We are people who love the team, and we get together as friends just to sit down and talk about the game, and we love sharing it with other friends. So thank you so much. And please, if you're in the Minnesota area, stay warm, stay safe. It is really cold out there. Take care of yourself and stay classy, Minnesota.